recognize the man in the mirror, not weak, just unfinished. Every scar, every fall, every storm I survived was shaping something stronger. Through the silence with a heart that felt unsure. Every step felt like a question, every dream felt insecure. There were nights of isolation when the doubt would fill my head. Every failure whispered softly that my future might be dead. But a fire deep inside me never truly disappeared. Even when I felt defeated, even when I lived in fear, it was waiting in the darkness like a spark beneath the coal. Waiting for the day I realize the crown. Every storm I once was fearing could not bring me down. The strength is not perfection, it's the courage to persist. And a man who dares to struggle. There comes a moment when the weight of the world falls on your shoulders. Some men collapse, some men run, but some men stand. When the weight of the world falls on your shoulders, some men collapse, some men run, but some men of silence where my courage almost died. Every dream felt like a mountain, every hope I tried to hide. There were voices in the darkness telling me I should give in, that the road I tried to travel was a war I could not win. Every failure left a shadow, every scar became a test. Every step into resistance put my spirit to the test. But beneath the doubt and pressure, something strong awoke inside. A quiet flame of defiance that refused to die. I will not break, I will not fall, no matter how hard the war may call. I will not break, I will not kneel. My mind is iron, my heart is steel. I will not break, through fire I rise. Every scar is a battle prize. There were days the weight was crushing, there were nights the pain was real. Every step felt like a mountain, every breath a test of will. But the voice that once was shaken started turning into flame, and the man who feared the battle would never be the same. Every drop of sweat was payment, every bruise a silent vow that the strength I dreamed of having was the strength I'm building now. I will not break, hear my cry, even if break the voice that kept you here. Pain will test you, storms will try, but legends rise when weak men die. Storms unshaken. Now I face the rising tide. Every scar I carry proudly, every wound I cannot hide. Because the path of transformation is a road of blood and flame, and the man who fears the struggle will remain the same. But the man who dares to suffer for the strength he dreams inside will become the living proof that the warrior survives. I will not break, let the thunder sound, even if the sky falls through the ground. Hear my cry, the warrior lives and will never die. Through endless flame, from fear and darkness, I rose again. The absence of struggle, that is the refusal to surrender. The storm outside is nothing compared to the storm within. Every man fights a battle no one else can see. There's a war beneath the surface, silent, violent, always near. Not with armies, not with weapons, but with doubt and hidden fear. Every whisper of insecurity, every memory of shame, every scar from past defeats, still calling out my name. The battlefield is mental, the enemy is me. Every weakness that I nurture steals my destiny. I tried to run from conflict, tried to silence all the noise, but the louder I avoided it, the stronger grew the voice. You cannot hide from battle, you cannot fake your peace. Every morning is a challenge. Every night a test of will. Every time I face resistance, I must choose to climb the hill. There are moments I feel breaking. There are seconds I feel small. But the voice that says surrender is the weakest of them all. I remember every failure, every time I chose to hide. But the strongest transformation comes when fear and pride collide. So I step into the chaos, I embrace the inner flame, because the war on truly fire is the one inside my brain. I let the thunder crash around me, let the lightning split the sky. I would rather fight in chaos than live afraid to try. Your within is not unseen. It shapes the man that I will be. The war within, through fire and sin, the only path is through the wind. War within, I hear we roar, but I am stronger than before. The war within, the war within. The storm never left. It became you. The storm outside. 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 Pain. Most people run from it. Most people hide from it. But the few who dare to face it become something else entirely. prison for my mind. Every step felt like a burden, every dream I left behind. There were nights I felt defeated, there were days I felt too small. Every voice inside my spirit said I wasn't built at all. But the weight of every failure started shaping something new. Like a hammer striking iron, every blow was breaking through. I began to see the pattern hidden deep inside the strain, that the strongest souls are always built by pain. Let the pressure shape the armor, let the struggle form the blade, because destiny is written by the price you choose to pay. Built by pain, forcing fire, every fall lifts me higher. Built by pain, hear the flame, every battle calls my name. Built by pain, through the storm I remain. The man you see before you was built by pain. There were moments I was breaking, there were moments I would bleed. Every doubt became a mountain, every mountain did me plead. But I stood against the pressure with a will that would not bend, because weakness only conquers while the warrior pretends. Every drop of sweat was payment, every scar a silent vow that the man I once believed in is the man I'm building now. When the fire tests your spirit, when the storm invades your way, you will learn the brutal truth. Legends are not born, they are made. Built by pain, forged in steel, every scar taught me to feel. Built by pain, hear the sound, every fall raised me from the ground. Built by pain, through thunder and rain, my power lives forever. In pain, pain is the teacher, pain is the forge. Pain destroys the weak, but it builds the strong. If you survive the fire, you become it. stood. Not because the road was easy, but because I understood that the struggle is the architect of the strength we all admire, and the storms we try avoiding are the ones that forge the fire. I no longer fear the darkness, I no longer fear the rain, because everything I've become was built by There is a moment in every life when fear demands surrender, and there is another voice, quieter, stronger, that says, rise! Walked through fields of silence where my confidence had died. I have stood in front of failure with nowhere left to hide. Every doubt became a shadow, every shadow fed the night. Every step felt like a question: was I built enough to fight? But the fire never vanished, it was buried deep below, like a sword beneath the ashes, waiting for the coal to glow. When the pressure crushed my spirit, when the weight was hard to bear, something ancient woke inside me, something forged in despair. Let the thunder shake the sky from the ruins of your fear. Let the stronger man defy. Rise, warrior, rise. Let the heavens hear your name. You were never born to kneel. You were forged inside the flame. When the iron felt like mountains, when my strength felt counterfeit, but the will became my armor, and the pain became my guide. Every step into resistance put the weakness to the side. The battlefield was daily, not with swords, but with my mind. And the enemy was comfort that would keep my soul confined. But I shattered hesitation with the hammer of resolve. never meant for weakness. You were never built to hide. The storm was not your enemy. It was your guide. Every wound became a crown, and the man who feared the darkness cannot hold me down. I am not the same creation that once begged the world for worth. I rebuild myself in silence, in the forge of my rebirth. Warrior, rise! Let the mountains feel your roar. You are stronger than the version that existed once before. Rise, warrior, rise! Through the ashes you ascend. Listen. No one sees the hours. No one hears the struggle. They only see the victory. But victory is written in blood and discipline. Every morning starts in darkness before the sun begins to rise. While the world is still sleeping, I'm staring in its eyes. There's a silence in the struggle. There's a war no one can see. Every moment of resistance is a step to who I'll be. There are days the weight is crushing. There are nights the doubt appears. But the man who chases greatness must confront his hidden fears. Comfort whispers soft seduction. Take the easy road today. But the warrior inside me says the price must still be paid. Paid is not my enemy. It is the fire of change. And the man who walks through suffering will never stay the same. Blood and discipline forged inside the flame. Every drop of sweat carves my name. Blood and discipline, no mercy in the grind. Strength is not a gift. fear, every moment filled with doubt, every voice that tried to tell me maybe you should just drop out. But the iron of persistence started growing in my chest, and the fire of resistance would not let my soul rest. Every scar became a symbol, every bruise became a crown, every fall I suffered through only pushed me higher now. This is not a path for cowards, this is not a road for fame. It's the soul construction of a soul inside the forge of pain. Let the pressure build the armor, let the struggle shape the blade, because legends are not born, they are made. Blood and discipline echo through my veins, every victory was born from pain. Blood and discipline, hear the thunder sound, every time I fall I rise from the ground. Blood and discipline, through the storm I run, the war is never over until it's won. No shortcuts, no mercy, no surrender. The world respects only one language, power and power is built one sacrifice at a time. Now the mirror shows a warrior where a broken man once stood. Not because the path was easy, but because I understood that the price of transformation is a war against yourself. And the man who wins that battle needs no trophies on a shelf. Every drop of sweat was payment, every failure was a guide, every step into resistance built the fire deep inside. Now the storm is my companion, now the iron fills my soul. Discipline became the weapon that allowed me to take control. Blood and discipline forged in endless flame, every battle fought built my name. Blood and discipline, music, no melody, only rhythm, the rhythm of decision. Tonight, someone dies. There was a man inside my shadow, always whispering, don't try. He was built from fear and failure. He was scared to even try. He would tremble at the pressure. He would kneel before the pain. He would search for easy shelter. He would pray to stay the same. Every dream he buried slowly. Every risk he ran away. Every challenge felt too heavy, so he chose the safer way. But safe became a prison. Comfort turned into decay. And I knew that if I kept him, I would slowly fade away. So I walked into the fire. I let the pressure crush my pride, because only one could survive. And tonight, the weak man died in the heat of the flame, burned by the truth that I would not stay the same. The weak man died, left in the past, forged in the fire. A warrior was cast. The fear survives, no doubt remains. The weak man died, and I broke the chains. I remember when he begged me, just stop, this pain's too much. When the weight was overwhelming, when the iron felt like a crush, he would search for validation. He would beg the world for worth. He forgot that true power must be built inside the hurt. Every drop of sweat was cleansing. Every rep was silent scream. Every time I chose resistance, I got closer to the dream. He was shaking in the mirror, but I stared him in the eyes, and I told him very clearly, only one of us survives. Let the drums announce the ending. Let the old self fade away, because evolution demands a price to pay. The weak man died. Hear the drums of war. He won't control this life anymore. The weak man died under iron and pain. From ashes and scars I rise again. No more excuses, no more disguise. The weak man lives, but the warrior rises. Kill the comfort, kill the doubt, kill the voice that says it out. Kill the fear, kill the lie. If he lives, you never fly. This is the night. This is the line between weakness and divine. Now when I walk into the daylight, there is thunder in my stride. There is silence where fear lived. There is steel I cannot hide. I do not ask for mercy. I do not fought in darker days. The world may test my limits, the storm may try again, but the man who feared the pressure will never rise again. He is gone beneath the rubble of the life I left behind, and the man who stands before you has an unbreakable mind. The weak man died, and the drums declare a stronger soul is standing here. The weak man died, the fire inside what was afraid was purified. No chains remain, no fear to hide. The weak man lived, but the warrior survived. A man must die, so a legend can rise. I remember the weight, the invisible chains no one could see. Fear around my wrists, doubt around my soul. For years, I believed they were unbreakable. I was walking through the silence with the weight of every scar, every failure like a shadow, every dream a distant star. People saw a quiet stranger, they could never hear the war. Every step I took was fragile, every hope behind a door. I had built a cage of weakness, every doubt became a wall. Every whisper of surrender echoed loudly through it all. I believed that I was trapped there, that escape could never be. But the prison I was living was created inside me. No more chains, hear them fall. I am rising through it all. Every scar, every pain made the man I became. No more chains, no more lies. I have seen through disguise. From the ashes of the flame, I became a different name. Now the ground beneath is shaking, every step is carved in steel. Every doubt that tried to break me only taught me how to heal. There were nights I faced the silence, there were days I faced the fall, but the fire of resistance started burning through it all. I remember every struggle, every moment filled with fear, but the man who feared the darkness is no longer living here. Now the chains are only memories of the life I left behind. Every battle forged a weapon, every loss rebuilt my mind. but the prison was always me. Now the walls are collapsing, the silence is gone. The man who was trapped is finally strong. The sky feels even wider. Now the air is burning bright. Every step I take is thunder, every breath a living fight. I remember where I started, in the shadows of despair. But the chains that once controlled me no longer hold me there. Now the road ahead is endless, and the storm lives in my veins. But the man who walks this journey will never wear those chains. No more chains, hear them fall. I am rising through it all. Every scar, every pain built the power in my name. No more chains, no more fear. The warrior is standing here, from the darkness I can shine. Living fire without chains. The chains were never stronger than the mind that wore them. And once you see the truth, nothing can hold you. The body can break, muscles can fail, the world can doubt you, but the mind decides if you rise or if you fall. Every morning starts a battle before the sun begins to rise. There's a war inside my spirit between weakness and the fight. There's a voice that whispers softly, stay in comfort, stay in chains. But another voice is screaming, only warriors embrace pain. Every step into the fire burns the fear I used to It is forged inside the flame, and the mind that masters suffering will never be the same. Iron mind, unbreakable will, mountain fall, but I climb the hill. Steel in my veins, fire in my soul. Pain is the diamond that makes me whole. Iron mind, no fear in mind. Every victory was built for pain. Every weight upon my shoulders is a challenge I accept. Every moment of resistance is another warrior step. I remember days of weakness when I doubted who I was, when the mirror showed a stranger, broken down my feared loss. But the fire started rising deep beneath the silent scars, like a storm that waits in darkness, like a sound underneath stars. Now the voice inside is louder. Now the weakness cannot stay. I will crush the chains of comfort. I will rise another day. Let the doubt become the fuel. Let the pressure forge the blade. When the mind refuses failure, destiny is made. Iron mind, unbreakable will. The world may stand, but I climb the hill. Blood and sweat fuel the flame. Every battle fills my aim. Iron mind, fear must fall. The man who conquers conquers all. Discipline is stronger than motivation. Pain is stronger than comfort. Than the mind. The mind is stronger than both. I will not break. I will not kneel. I was reborn in iron and steel. Now the storm is in my heartbeat. Now the fire fills my lungs. Every step becomes a thunder. Every word a loaded gun. When the world begins to doubt me, when the pressure starts to rise, I remember who I'm becoming. I remember who survives. Not the man who chose easy, not the soul that ran from pain, but the warrior who stood firm in the middle of the rain. And the rain became a strong. I was not born fearless. I was born in silence, in doubt, in shadows. But even the darkest night cannot bury a spark forever. I was born inside the silence, where the shadows fed my fear. Every mirror showed a stranger I refused to see and hear. Broken promises of greatness buried deep beneath the shame. Every failure carved my weakness, every loss reinforced my name. They said I'd never be a fighter, said I'd never stand up tall. Every whisper of their judgment built the prison of my walls. I believed I was the echo of a man who couldn't rise. I was drowning in the darkness of 1,000 silent cries. But somewhere in the wreckage, under scars I tried to hide, there was something still unbroken, still alive inside. I was born in the dark, but the fire lives in me. Every scar is a mark of the man I'm meant to be. From the ashes I rise, through the pain I ignite. I was born in the dark, but I was made for the fight. Every morning felt like war, just to stand up on my feet. Every breath a confrontation with the voice of my defeat. I would walk into the daylight, but I carried endless night. Every step was heavy doubt, every dream too far in sight. But pain became my heater, and the mirror turned to steel. If I couldn't kill the weakness, I would force myself to feel. The weight became my weapon, every reckless silent scream. Every cap of sweat was building the man behind the dream. The chains began to tremble, the walls began to crack. The boy who feared the darkness was not coming back. I was born in the dark, but the fire lives in me. Every scar is a mark of the man I'm meant to be. Through the shadows I rise, through the pain I ignite. I was born in the dark, but I was made for the fight. Pain is the hammer, doubt is the flame, weakness is fuel. I will not be the same. Strike after strike, I rise from the ground. The silence is broken. Hear the new sound. I am not the boy who begs for the light. fire in my posture. I see discipline break through. Every scar became a memory of a battle that I won. Every doubt that tried to stop me only proved that just begun. The world can try to test me, the world can try to break, but I was forged in darkness. There's nothing left to take. The weak man died in silence. The warrior speaks in flame. I carry every failure, but I am not the same. Let the thunder shake the heavens. Let the past be left behind. You can't kill what has awakened. You can't chain an iron mind. I was born in the dark, but the fire lives in me. Every scar is a mark for the man I'm meant to be. I was born in the dark, but I conquered the night. I was forged by the storm. Now I am the light. Remember this. The darkness, your fear, may be the forge that builds your crowns. I was born in the dark, but I chose